The author for all of the books in my book talk is Neal Shusterman. My first three books are Everlost, Everwild, and Everfound. These books are all fantasy books and make up the Skinjacker Trilogy. The Skinjacker Trilogy begins with Nick and Allie colliding into each other in the air following a car crash. Their souls would have traveled down a tunnel into the afterlife, but instead they spiraled out of the tunnel and ended up in the Everlost world. The world is a mirror of the real world, but the souls can't interact with the real world and they slowly fall through the ground if they don't keep moving. However, objects and places that are meaningful to people will carry over into the Everlost world and can be interacted with normally by the souls. For example, at the beginning of the story, Nick and Allie awake 9 months after the car crash in a forest on the side of the road. They can move around the forest normally because it was destroyed in a forest fire. Additionally, everyone in the Everlost world is a child, no one ages, remaining the same way they were when they died, and people slowly get set into routines and lose their memories. Of course, there are exceptions to the rules. On top of this, certain characters have special abilities based on their personalities, and all of the characters with unique abilities play an important role in the story. Throughout the trilogy, the books explore the Everlost world from the perspectives of many different characters as they march towards a spectacular finale where everything comes together. The Everlost trilogy is incredibly interesting and the fantasy world it creates is captivating. The exploration of the idea of an afterlife and how that afterlife affects the rest of the world is done well throughout the trilogy. On top of this, the characters evolve in dynamic ways to create important and lasting relationships. The trilogy also doesn't shy away from harsh themes and concepts despite the main characters being children, which creates a great story. Ultimately, I would recommend the trilogy to those who enjoy fantasy books and interesting concepts. My last book is Challenger Deep, a realistic fiction novel also by Neal Shusterman. Challenger Deep explores the reality of mental health in a unique way that puts the reader in the mind of a bipolar child. It mixes both sides of reality and illusion using the idea of sailing across the ocean to explore the depths of Challenger Deep, also known as the Mariana Trench. It interweaves the kids' experiences discovering and falling into a struggle with mental health with the fantastical world of sailing on a captain's ship. The book doesn't hide the harsh realities of mental health and honestly explores the struggle people face. I think that Challenger Deep is good to read for anyone because it gives the reader a better understanding of the struggles of mental health and helps them understand that those who struggle with mental health are not monsters. Additionally, the language is always beautifully written and truly draws the reader into the exploration of a mentally ill mind.